Invasive species, whether introduced by mistake or through well-meaning efforts, often balances and inflict damage on agriculture. Humans have responded with a variety of methods, from poisoning both
and farther than we've ever been.
Push the boundary.
Yeah. This area that I'm thinking of, there's a lot of pythons that are moving
and preserve ecosystems. We are locked in a relentless battle, tracking and hunting these intruders just from the Norway rat to the powerful lizards. Here is a closer look at some of an invader. The Norway rat, also known as the brown or sewer rat, stands as dates. Despite its name, this rat species did not originate in Norway. It likely hails from northern China or Mongolia, where it first evolved before traveling across the earliest recorded sightings around 1775. Since then, in the cold climates of Alaska and on remote Hawaiian islands, largely due to their incredible flexibility in habitat and diet. These where human food waste and shelter are abundant. They are frequently found to consume grains, fruits, vegetables, eggs, meats, garbage, and sometimes non-food items like soap and wood, making even sparking fires. Their extensive burrowing undermines foundations, sidewalks, and levees, improve sanitation, trapping, poisoning, and educating the public. However, their rapid breeding cycle. Tagus are large, powerful lizards that have established themselves as significant invasive predators in the southeastern United States and Brazil. They were first introduced to the U.S. through the exotic pet trade. Their striking black and white. However, as these lizards grew rapidly in size and became harder to have breeding populations across Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. Adult tagus can grow up to 4 feet in America. Despite their bulk, they are surprisingly fast and strong. They can dig, including forests, grasslands, and suburban areas. Their diet is broad and opportunistic, as omnivores, and notably, eggs. They are infamous for raiding nests of ground-nesting birds, reptiles, and even beyond ecological impacts. Tagus also pose challenges in local communities. Although generally not aggressive, there have been reports of tagus attacking small pets, such as outdoor cats, creating conflict with residents, contributing to rapid population growth. With almost no natural predators in their introduced range, controlling is a small black bird with a glossy iridescent coat that has become one of North America's most widespread invasive birds. It was introduced and able to thrive in cities, suburbs, and rural areas alike. In colder months, when starlings gather in spectacular groups, their diet is varied. Feeding on insects, European starlings compete aggressively with native birds, particularly those that nest in cavities, often in some indigenous bird populations. Besides their impact on wildlife, starlings disrupt livestock significantly, with crop and feed losses mounting yearly. Moreover, starlings can carry diseases that affect both. Find the starling's aerial murmurations mesmerizing. These synchronized flights are a stunning bug, often abbreviated as BMSB, is an invasive insect causing problems in homes and farms across the United States. Originally most likely arriving hidden in shipments from China. Since then, its numbers have exploded, partly because natural enemies like this bug's hardiness and flexibility have allowed indoors and outdoors. During colder months, the brown marmorated stink bug searches for warm places. Often homeowners find them frustrating as they cluster near light sources at night. Although harmless to humans, they're passive, with one generation producing millions of offspring. This explosion coincides with the growth of causes deformities and rotting in fruits and vegetables, which harms crop yields. Apples pay financial losses and increase produce prices for consumers. Because their numbers grow unchecked and they invade feral hogs, also called wild pigs or boars, are aggressive and destructive invaders that have spread across pigs introduced by early European settlers. These animals now thrive in 40 states, China, occupying a wide range of habitats from forests and wetlands to farmland, known for their sharp tusks, insects, small animals, and eggs. Their predation on turtle, wild turkey, and quail eggs, particularly grains and vegetables, and their habit of rooting up soil causes erosion and destroys forest species, which hampers forest regeneration and disrupts ecosystems. Cause roughly $1.5 billion in annual damages, destroying crops and water systems. Farmers and landowners spend heavily. However, feral hogs reproduce rapidly. A single female can produce up to a dozen piglets each year, make feral hogs one of the most challenging invasive species to control long-term. Lionfish are striking but highly invasive predators that pose a major threat to marine ecosystems in the western Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf. Venomous fins, which make them stand out underwater. Native to the Indo-Pacific region, lionfish were introduced to Atlantic waters through one of the most damaging invasive marine species. Lionfish are aggressive hunters with a wide diet that includes small fish that allows them to drastically reduce native populations. With almost no natural predators in their news, lionfish do not face significant threats from other predators, enabling rapid population increase. Serious. They disrupt marine food threats, many of which play critical roles in maintaining coral reef health, by contribute to reef degradation. They also prey on juvenile commercially important fish such as grouper and snapper, which are vital to local fisheries and encouraging their consumption as a food source. However, their adaptability, rapid breeding, and venomous spines underscoring the ongoing challenges invasive species pose to ocean ecosystems. Myx, scientifically named Vulpes vulpes, is among the most widespread and adaptable carnivores. It has extended its presence into parts of Asia where it is often seen as an invasive threat. However, its expansion into non-native Asian regions has created serious problems for local range of animals including birds, small mammals, reptiles. Amphibian diet allows it to flourish in diverse habitats but also puts it in direct competition with native predators, where fox numbers rise. One of the biggest concerns is the lack of natural defenses among some native pressures they are ill-equipped to handle. The fox's speed, cunning, and stealth give it a considerable advantage. Upset foxes can carry diseases such as rabies and mange, threatening wildlife, domestic animals, and scavenging human refuse and sometimes preying on poultry or livestock, which leads to financial lopping, culling, and community education focused on reducing food availability. Despite these efforts, they're elusive. The European rabbit, Oryctolagus cuniculus, may appear harmless, but it is a formidable invasive. Africa. These rabbits have been introduced into countries like Australia, New Zealand, parts of Asia, and the Americas. Productive rate and adaptability have turned them into serious environmental pests. One of their most damaging is herbs and the seedlings of trees and shrubs, habitats, and preventing natural regrowth. This overgrazing disrupts ecosystems at multiple levels. For example, and also compete fiercely with native herbivores for limited food and space. Their populations can explode rapidly. This displacement affects entire food chains, impacting predators reliant on native prey, in addition to over-damage farmland and cause structural problems near buildings and roads, reducing land usability and rabbit hemorrhagic disease. However, rabbits have developed resistance to some methods, making their control an ongoing struggle. Authorities recently carried out a large-scale cull of an invasive pig species that had spread rapidly across the region, North America, in the 1930s. They were brought to the U.S. for fur farming but escaped or were released into the wild Louisiana's environment and become a widespread invasive species. Wildlife These rodents cause extensive environmental damage. They feed heavily on marsh vegetation, accelerating wet digging and burrowing along riverbanks and levees cause severe soil instability, threatening Nutria also degrade water quality, and their impact extends beyond nature to infrastructure and agriculture. Burrowing weakens Nutria cause major damage to crops, especially sugarcane. A key Louisiana problem, Louisiana has implemented control strategies like trapping, hunting, and habitat management. These measures, nutria remain a persistent challenge in preserving Louisiana's wetlands and Chinese mitten crab is a freshwater species native to the coastal rivers and estuaries of East Asia. Within its original habitats, this crab has become a significant invasive problem in various parts of the world. It has spread widely into riverbanks, levees, and other soft soil areas. These crabs dig intricate tunnels and extensive burrow control barriers. This destructive burrowing accelerates erosion and raises the risk of flooding. The Kingdom have already spent millions repairing the damage caused by these small yet highly. Beyond its impact on physical structures, the Chinese mitten crab also disrupts sources including small fish, fish eggs, aquatic vegetation, and various invertebrates, indigenous crabs and other bottom-dwelling creatures, further unbalancing aquatic communities. Another major factor complicates remarkable distances between freshwater rivers and coastal saltwater environments. Often navigating through humidity allows them to colonize new areas rapidly, making containment and eradication extremely difficult. Aquatic ecosystems, and potentially humans, if the crabs are handled or consumed without proper preparation. Scientifically known as Penaeus monodon, is a large, fast-growing crustacean native to the Indo-Pacific. Valuable species farmed extensively for its size and taste. The prawn has become an invasive concern in areas beyond its native. Intentional aquaculture and accidental escapes from shrimp farms of this species invasion are increasingly apparent. One of the primary ecological issues caused by it grows faster, consumes more, and exhibits more aggressive behavior than many indigenous species. Ups the delicate balance of aquatic ecosystems. Further adding to the socioeconomic impact. Another major problem concerns aquaculture itself. While the giant decimate shrimp populations, this prawn serves as a carrier, facilitating outbreaks that impact both. Its feeding behavior also stirs up sediments in aquatic environments and increases organic material in the water. An image surfaced from a Chinese canal showing mysterious aggressive aquatic creatures that have reportedly wiped out of these so-called water monsters. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. The Asian citrus psyllid is a minuscule insect, no bigger than a grain of rice. Yet its effect on the citrus sucking pest carries a deadly bacterium known as Candidatus Liberibacter asiaticus, responsible for citrus greening disease, disrupting nutrient and water absorption. The infected tree's leaves turn yellow, the fruit becomes bitter, the bacterium it spreads that makes it a devastating threat. This disease-infected insect can transmit bacteria to many trees, which then lose their ability to produce. Florida has suffered since the early 2000s. More than half of its citrus trees have been affected, leading to dramatic. The crisis has expanded into other citrus-growing states, including Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, Arizona, and staggering, with billions lost due to lower yields, decreased exports, and widespread wasps, removing infected trees, and breeding disease-resistant citrus varietal adversary. Without a permanent cure or effective control, it continues to threaten the Python bivitatus, is among the largest snakes on Earth. Known for its in Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam, it plays an important ecological role in its homeland. However, outside Asia, the Burmese python has become a notorious invasive predator, especially in the Florida. Snakes prey heavily on bird populations. As powerful ambush hunters, Burmese pythons and reptiles, bird species that nest on or near the ground or in low shrubs, are particularly birds, which has led to declines in some local populations. These impacts are worsened in areas beyond ecological, particularly in rural farming communities. While attacks on people are rare, they do happen. Reaching 20 feet allows them to overpower large animals and, in very rare cases, humans. There have been reports causing alarm among residents. The python's adaptability is another challenge. It thrives in diversity, makes controlling populations difficult, especially where natural predators are absent and protecting vulnerable wildlife. In some areas, pythons are hunted for their skin and meat, though these practical species with a profound impact on native ecosystems. How should we